side, but now we've got our Spec MX ready to start. Look how tight that pack is.
That's right, 3 wide in the 3rd or 4th row there as they come down towards the line, side by side up front. This should be a character builder moment as they come through turn 1. Let's see who's got it.
Oh boy.
Ooh, wow, there is a lot of argy-bargy going on there. No issues to the best I can tell. Everybody kept it pointing in the proper direction. Still side by side going into turn 2. Side by side through 3. 3 wide on the grass in the 3rd row. I can't hold my breath any longer, Lefty. Oh, there's a car finally going wide.
Yeah, the battle for 4th right there. Got a little bit feisty, but they're starting to sort this out, or it just turned into the battle for 6th now, I think.
Wow, lots of action going on the opening lap of this race. Now they're somewhat single file. Still side by side there.
See what timing, as Courtney says, about who the lead is, but I thought the Camden Ebben might be in the one that's out in front. Look at it, still side by side, back for 6th and 7th.
It came to an SMX-5 race and a rallycross race broke out.
Cars are built pretty rough and pretty tough. These are pretty sturdy chassis. They can handle all sorts of bouncing. They can also apparently do a whole lot of side-by-side racing as we continue back there, looking at the top 4, and then you get the battle for 5th still side-by-side.
We have had side-by-side action in every corner of this first lap.
All right, so Camden Hibbett is the lead of the Spec MXs. Justin Adaconis, you're sitting in 2nd. He was your winner yesterday. Elio Meza, Jack Murchison, and that is a whole lot of dirt. And there's cars coming out of it, but I can't tell which ones.
Now there's a pass for the lead. That is Adaconis trying to get around Hibbert, and it looks like he has.
Great move there, getting the draft out, breaking him, taking that line into one. Good move there for Justin.
Now we should keep in mind this class is required to use the same set of tires starting Saturday morning all the way through Sunday afternoon. So whoever managed their tires best throughout the weekend is going to have an advantage here when we get to the end. Oh, a big 4 off there towards the back. That is the, I want to say, 24 car of Camden Gruber, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is. He's in that Planet Miata entry, and now he's side by side. This is probably Ethan Jacobs, maybe?
Wow, the action is absolutely fast and furious. I actually hear cheering downstairs below us.
They're still side by side, coming out of 9 up towards 10. Gruber is not yielding at all.
Wow.
I don't know if that's, I'm not sure who that is, if it's Jacobs or even Justin Mason that maybe he's alongside.
Just so you know that we're not ignoring action up front, the gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd up front is 5 seconds, 5 seconds, and 5 seconds. So it's Charlie Peters, Scott Sewell, and David Fiorelli up front. That is your gap there. We're not really missing anything up front by following this battle here. We will get back to them here in a few minutes. A long race ahead, so we have plenty of time to show all the classes here.
So yeah, that red fronted car there that's alongside of Camden River was Justin Mason. Ethan Jacobs had slipped by earlier on the previous lap. So Ethan Jacobs now up to 7th, but at the front, I think it's Adaconis, but then it might be somewhere either Hibbett or Meza. I'm not sure who is in 2nd. Murchison Collins somewhere in that mix as well. There's been a lot of movement almost corner to corner.
The only question now is, has Camden Gruber showed enough steely resolve for a Hans Gruber reference here at this point?
Are we doing a Die Hard?
We might be. Yeah, Die Harder forever at the moment. There we go. Right up front, Adaconis, Hibbett, Meza, Murchison, Collins, Ebben. That's your top 6 in Spec MX-5.
And the Solstice there, kind of yielding a little bit. I think that's Kun Cheng Yi from that T2 car. Yeah, Solstice did a good job getting out of the way of this group, but it looks like Adaconis able to open up just a couple extra car lengths now on the Meza, Ibit, and Murchison behind.
Just a little bit of a lead might be enough, and those 5 cars behind them, they're just going to have to go in line to try to stay caught up.
And the birds don't care. They're going to go out there and continue to forage.
Yeah, they're looking for dinner. If they're not careful, they're going to get Miata for dinner.
Oh, that might have just been a pass for fourth.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, which would be Corbin Collins and Jack Murchison.
Right.
Again, it's hard to spot those, but there was definitely a move down the inside of two.
All right, so since this has kind of settled down just a bit, let's try to pick up our leaders here if we can. Give them a little bit of love. Charlie Peter in the T2 car, that's the BMW M2.
He's the easy one to find. He's the one all by himself doing lightning laps around this place.
I got a chance to stop by and look at that car last time. It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not a BMW fan per se, but that car is well prepared and well put together.
And then there's Scott Sewell in the Porsche Cayman, also in T2. He's about 13 seconds back. He's got a couple seconds ahead of the STU leader, David Fiorelli, in that black Mustang. And the Michael Pettiford, your T3 leader, just ahead of his rival, Camden Jones. Pettiford in the Solstice, Camden in the Mazda.
Yeah, our top 5 cars overall: Charlie Peter, Scott Sewell, David Fiorelli, Michael Pettiford, Camden Jones. Still about a 25-second gap back to the SMX field.
Yeah, as a couple of SMXs are going to the outside of Alan Orban in the STU Neon, who's trying to do a little bit of yielding to try and stay offline, but that is quite a pack that just went on through, and they're swapping positions in front of him. 3 wide, looks like the tail sliding out of 2.
Well, and he's in an unenvious spot because he's got to still stay on the racetrack while he's trying to stay out of the way, so.
The track is only so long.
Right, you can be as respectful as possible, but at some point in time, you know, you've paid for that real estate also. But all things considered, he's done a really good job of letting the faster cars through.
According to timing and scoring, last time across the stripe, Atacanas continued to lead. Elio Meza was up second, Camden Hibbett to third. I think that's maybe how the order they're in right now. And there's a couple of extra car lengths then to the group behind them. Murchison.
Holy drift, Batman.
Yeah, they are chucking these things around.
Yeah, coming off that bump at 8 is really an adventure.
Starting to settle down, at least top 4.
Yes, settle down. I gotta go look at my heart rate right now. It's bumping here.
Yeah, Cam Ethan Jones, Corbin Collins, Cam McGruber, I think, are kind of lined up a little bit further back. That front 4, Atacanas, Meza, Ebben, and Murchison, all just each about 3 car lengths between them.
We've had some bigger fields here in SMX through the Super Tour this year, but this is maybe one of the more talented groups of 10 or 12 drivers that we've had put together here.
Yeah, I would say pretty much all of them capable of winning this race if they have the, if the tires in the right condition and they've got the right track position, they could do this. Atacanas, of course, has been the most successful so far of the weekend, having gotten the win yesterday. And we've seen that pace. Camden Hibbett qualifying this morning was really fast. And look at Meza here; he seems to be nearly on Atacanas' pace.
And even with all that side-by-side action in the opening 3 or 4 laps, it was fairly clean. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of actual side-by-side contact. They all basically kept their foot in it. It was really something to watch.
Yeah, not much anything door-to-door between them. Lots of contact with the Turks. They were definitely playing in the dirt as kids are known to do.
It was chaos, but controlled chaos, I believe. At least that's what it ended up. It may have not been controlled chaos, but because no one hit anybody, we can call it controlled chaos.
Yeah. Now there's a little battle opened up for third as the second place runner, Elio Meza, gets a lot of dirt at the exit 1. Hampton Hibbett and Jack Murchison, 3rd and 4th. They are basically bump drafting. You can see them there, the big green trim hood there on the front of the Hibbett car, Murchison right behind. I think they're trying to work together to stay with Meza and then all the way to Atacanas. Atacanas just has got some great pace right now.
Patrick Lipsinick in the chat. Unfortunately, we'd rather have him in the Subaru on the racetrack, but he said the car's broke. Hopefully he can get that put back together and come out and join us again soon.
The car was spectacularly fast before it broke yesterday. When he got into that race, all of a sudden he was lightning through the field, and then the field went on by as the car gave up the ghost. But hopefully Patrick gets it ready for the next weekend.
Well, there is an old adage in motorsports: the cars are the fastest just before they break loose.
Yes.
So that may have been the case here. So Patrick, get that thing put back together and come back on with us. 20 laps to go. Let's do a call to grid here. Stand by. Attention in the paddock. Attention in the paddock. Group 4 cars to the grid. Group 4 cars. This time it's time for Group 4. FA, FC, FE2, FX, P1, and P2. Group 4 cars to the grid for your race.
Call it the grid. If you think it's yours, it probably is.
Exactly. 20 to go here. Taking a look at our leaders of this race. Not a lot of action up front as far as class battles, or really no one's really close in the top 5 here. But we'll talk about him here for a second. Charlie Peter is your leader in the BMW. He is in the 66 car. Second place in T2 is Scott Sewell. Waiting for a second to get the gap back to him. We'll talk about that in a second. David Fiorelli. The gap between first and second T2 is 25 seconds, almost 26. Third place car is STU David Fiorelli. He is in the Mustang. Then your 2 cars in T3 are Michael Pettiford and Camden Jones. That is the Pontiac Solstice of Pettiford and Camden Jones in the T3 Mazda. That is a, what is that? 4-6 second gap between the 2 T3 cars. So no real close battles there. That's why we keep watching this Spec MX-5 race at the moment.
Yeah, they're not disappointing at all. The leader, obviously, Anacondas, is having a great race, but behind him, it's starting to develop a little bit. Meza, we thought maybe was pulling away from Ebben Murchison. That has reversed, as now it looks like Murchison is caught up to Meza, and now Ebben may be falling into the clutches of Cam Ebben behind. But then you got Ethan Jacobs and Corbin Collins also. So you got the whole foursome all sort of bunched up back there. If anything, maybe it's 2x2s as they continue to run in that top 6. But there's still some battles to happen, but it's not for the lead, as right now Justin Adaconis is the class of this field this weekend.
Richard Sontag in the chat is rooting for Justin Mason in 515 Motorsports. Thomas Garlington in the chat cheering for Justin from UNC Charlotte. I'm not sure if that's Adaconis or Justin Mason. Thomas, let us know which Justin you're talking about there. But a lot of folks tuning in for this Spec MX-5 battle.
It's all the Justins.
All the Justins. They both went to UNC for all I know.
We're going to cover them both just in case.
That's true. That's true.
My favorite Justin.
Exactly. My favorite Justin is whichever Justin I'm talking about now. How's that? 18.
For Justin.
That's right. Justice for Justin.
Just in case.
Let's see here.
At least
Caitlin
someone's a
Peter.
Charlie Peter fan.
I was going to say, it's Caitlin Peter. So Caitlin Peter better be a Charlie Peter fan, because if she's rooting for a Justin, they're going to have some problems at home.
Charlie's having a pretty good run here again, just like yesterday. He's already probably around a 30-second gap, maybe 35 by the time this lap is over, the way things are going. Charlie is fast today. Brian Stasinski, just in time. That's the other important Justin.
There you go. There you go.
Glad to see all the dads and their dad jokes are making their way to the chat.
Of course. Of course. All right, so Justin Adaconis is a UNC Charlotte 49er. That's what we just found out. So,
Nice.
being a Packers fan, I can't say go 49ers in good conscience, but we'll say go UNC Charlotte in this particular case. Let's run through the field right now. In E2, we've got Charlie Peter in first, followed by Scott Sewell, and Kun Sheng Ye is in third. In T3, Michael Pettiford and Camden Jones. In STU, we've got David Fiorelli and Alan Orban. And then we're right back up to Spec MX-5. Justin Adaconis with a 2-second lead, 2.6-second lead over Jack Murchison. And you've got Elio Mesa, Camden Hibbett, Cam Ebben, Corbin Collins, Ethan Jacobs. Camden Gruber is in 8th. Justin Mason in 9th. Will Lucas in 10th. Ryan Heitman is in 11th.
Keep an eye on the T3 battle. Camden Jones has been chipping away at the competitor. They're still about 3 seconds apart, but it is closing last couple of laps every time by almost 8/10 the last time by.
And that T3 battle looks like it's about to be caught up by the Spec MX-5 field. So there's the first, that's the 2 cars in T3 right there. And then the Spec MX-5 field is bearing down on them. So they're going to all try to get through there as easy as possible and hopefully not take too much of an effort out of the T3 battle. So we'll keep and watch this here.
I don't know if that's our T3 battle. That might be Ben Shangyi and the other Solstice that's in the field. That first is the bright yellow one.
Okay.
Right in front of that is the SMX leader. Of course, that's Anacondas. And then the overall race leader, Charlie Peter, is putting laps on the field. You can see him popping out right there in that BMW. You know, if you blink, you miss it.
That car backed out really, really respectfully to let the entire SMX-5 field basically drive by. The only one here that might get caught out is that Planet Miata Spec MX-5 car, which I believe is Camden Gruber.
Well, looking at lap times, Michael Pettiford may have responded doing a 25.8 last time around. Somebody might have gotten the radio and said, "Hey, Mike, Camden Jones is coming for you." Michael said, "Got it."
Yeah. Use that skinny pedal. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. And there's Michael Pettiford in that yellow Solstice, and then there right behind is the white with the black trim, Camden Jones and D Miata. That is a fight. That is the T3 lead right there.
Well, we'll stay with this for a lap or two. 15 laps to go here. The other thing is they're close enough where Pettiford can look in the rearview mirror and kind of make that decision on his own too.
That might have been what triggered Pettiford to respond. If it wasn't a radio call, it was a mirror check to say, wait, that's not a Spec MX-5. That looks a little more like Camden.
And it's getting bigger every lap. Right now, Camden Gruber, is the T3 Camden?
Camden Jones?
Camden Jones just needs to keep his head down and do basically one qualifying lap after another, and then hope that Pettiford has an issue or starts to slow down or loses some tires maybe. Lots of laps left in this race, Lefty.
Yeah, well, Pettiford, as I was talking about, the battle was getting close. Pettiford was running consistent mid to high 27s, 27.5, 27.9. In the last 2 laps, Pettiford 25.8, 25.8. That's a response right there, whereas Camden Jones has essentially been consistent running 26 point somethings the last 7-8 laps. So he was closing in, but Pettiford kind of went, oh, wait, we got to fix this problem here. We'll see if he's got the tire left under him to continue that trend as he ducks underneath the neon, the STU car of Alan Orban.
We are at halfway here in the SMX race. Our leader is Justin Adaconis, Helio Mesa second. Jack Marchus in third, Cam Ebben is in fourth, Ethan Jacobs fifth, Camden Ibben is sixth. Let's do a call to grid and take our break here, and then we'll come back and go, hopefully green, all the way to the finish line. Attention in the paddock, attention in the paddock. Group 4 cars to the grid, Formula Atlantic, Formula Continental, FE2, FX, P1, and P2. Group 4 cars to the grid. And now we'll take our break. Are watching the Hoosier Racing Tire SCCA Super Tour from Hallett Motor Racing Circuit. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.